Hey guys! So I didn't get to film a video intro, so I want to do a little voiceover intro just to let you know what's going on. This is my current foundation routine. Now this is not my routine if I have 5 minutes to get ready and get out the door. This is my routine if I have time to sit down and actually spend time on doing my makeup. So I hope you guys enjoy this video and keep watching if you want to see my foundation routine. Okay, so starting out, these are the two products that I use to wash my face. It's the Neutrogena Oil-Free Acne Wash and the Acne-Free Oil-Free Acne Cleanser. I use the Neutrogena wash way more frequently. The cleanser is just a little bit more harsh on my skin, so I only use it occasionally if I start breaking out. Now I'm going in with the Equate makeup wipes. This is just to get off any residue makeup on my skin and just to clean it up a little bit more than the washes did. Now this is a spring water spray. I got it in my Ipsy bag. I'm not sure of the brand, but it's similar to Fix Plus and all the makeup setting sprays. So I'm just going to spray my skin with that to give it some hydration. I'm also going to put on some chapstick. I have chapped lips, so prepare me for later when I put on lipstick. And then I'm going to moisturize. Moisturizer I'm using is the Olay Moisturizer. And I'm just going to be really patting that and pressing it into my skin. I have dry skin, so I really make sure and moisturize before I use foundation every single time. Now I'm going in with a primer. I'm using the Rimmel Stay Matte Primer. I don't need primer since my skin is dry, but I do use them occasionally. So I'm just going to be patting this into my skin really well. I'm not really using it for the mattifying look. I kind of actually want to be a little bit more dewy. So the next product I'm going to be using is it's another primer, but it's kind of like an illuminator also. And so I'm just going to be applying that on top of the Rimmel Stay Matte Primer just to give my face a little bit more shine and not to be so matte. Onto foundation, I'm using my L'Oreal True Match Lumi foundation and my flat top kabuki brush from RC Cosmetics. And I'm just going to take this foundation. I used about 2 pumps on my hand, and I'm just going to dot that all over my face. Now I've used this foundation many times, so I know exactly how much I need for my face. But I suggest that if you're trying a foundation for the first time, I would just put it on your hand and dip the brush on your hand and put it on your face like that, rather than just dotting it all over your face, because you could get too much product and end up caking. So, but I know how much I needed, so I just dabbed it right onto my face, and then I'm going to be going in with this kabuki brush and just buffing it in. Foundation has a tendency to sit on the top of my skin, like it won't soak in very well. So I'm really going to spend some time on this and press it in and then just really buff it. Now that I've gotten the coverage that I wanted from the kabuki brush and foundation, I'm going to go back in with this knockoff beauty blender. It's just a damp sponge. And I'm just going to go back in and make sure everything is blended out and soaking into my skin really well. So I'm going to use stippling or patting motions, and I'm just going to go back all over my face and just press the foundation into my skin even deeper to make sure it doesn't move. Now I'm going in with my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer and a e.l.f. brush. And I'm just going to be putting this concealer on my problem areas. This concealer is about the color of my skin, maybe like a half a shade or one shade lighter. So I'm just going to be going over my problem areas with that, anywhere I have redness or dark spots. And I'm also going to be putting a little bit of it under my eyes to cover up my dark circles. And then I'll be going in a little bit with a brightening concealer. But now I'm just putting that under my under eyes, just a little bit, just enough to cover the dark circles, and I'm just going to be blending that in very, very well. Now I'm going in with the Hard Candy Glamoflauge concealer, and y'all see how sticky that stuff is? Like, it is thick. But this is in the color Ultra Light, and I'm going to be using this concealer really to highlight my under eyes and the middle of my face. This is kind of part of a highlight contour routine y'all are also going to be seeing. So I'm just going to be dabbing that under my eyes. A little bit goes a really, really long ways. So under my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, on my forehead between my eyebrows, on my cupid's bow, and on my chin is where I'm going to be putting this. And then I'm going to go back in with a I keep saying beauty blender. It's a knockoff of the beauty blender sponge, and I'm going to be blending that out. When you use a damp sponge like this, it does give more sheer coverage. It picks up any of the excess product on your skin. But since I've already used the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, I've already covered up the dark circles. I'm just using this for brightening. So it being a little bit more sheer isn't an issue to me. But if you want it to be more opaque, I would recommend using a brush. Here I'm going in with the Covergirl True Blend Foundation Stick in the darkest color, and this is just going to be me contouring my face. This is a more natural way to go about it if you do it with cream products. So I'm just going on the hollows of my cheekbones, along the top of my forehead, on the sides of my nose, under my nose, and under the bottom of my lip. And then I'm just going to be going back in with a damp sponge and blending it all out. Make sure and blend it very, very well. And like I said, this is just going to give a more natural contour. And if you want, you can stop after this, but I am going to go back and do bronzing powders over it. I'm going to take this white shade from the 6 Color Contour and Blush Palette by BH Cosmetics on the same brush that I used to apply my concealer. And I'm just going to be putting that under my eyes to set that concealer. Since it's a white shade, it's going to go a little bit further in brightening under there, but it's also going to set my concealer. I'm also going to bring this anywhere that I put my concealer, along the bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow, my chin, Also along the top of my eyelids. This is going to make blending my eyeshadows out later on quite a bit easier. Okay, now we're contouring with powders. This is the NYC Bronzer. I don't know the name offhand. It will be listed down below. And an e.l.f. stippling brush. And I'm just going to be going in and really carving out my cheekbones, the hollows of my cheeks, and just putting that color in there and blending it out. I'm also going to be putting this bronzer anywhere that I put that cream foundation, on the top of my forehead, sides of my nose, and under my bottom lip. This is going to give my lip an appearance that it is kind of hanging over a pouty look almost, so my lips look a little bit bigger. Now I'm going in with this large stippling brush or duo fiber brush, and I'm just blending out that contour. I never like anything too harsh, so I'm just going to go in there and blend everything out, make sure there's no harsh lines, and just make sure it looks very flawless and smooth. Now this little blush combo that I'm using is from Coastal Scents. It's from my Ipsy bag. This isn't really part of the routine per se. I use whatever blush depending on whatever makeup look I'm using, so my blush changes pretty much every time. I don't really have a go-to blush, so I just kind of picked up the first one that I saw. This one is very pretty but very pigmented, so be light-handed. And I just applied that to the apples of my cheeks, and then I went back in with that brush that I used to blend out my bronzer with no product on it and blended out that blush. It's kind of... Here I'm going in with Hard Candy Bronzer in Tiki. And when I first saw this, I thought, how is this a bronzer? This is totally a highlight color. And it looks beautiful on the cheekbones. It looks beautiful on the bridge of the nose. But when I put it on the top of my lip, on my cupid's bow, I could totally tell it was a bronzer. It made me look like I had a mustache. So I ended up going in with this e.l.f. highlight with my my damp sponge and putting that on the top of my lip, because if you're fair skinned like I am, that Tiki bronzer may work on your cheekbones or the top of your nose, but on your lips it may make you look like you have a mustache. So I'm going to clean off all the foundation off my lips, and this is my finished foundation and highlight and contour routine. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!